Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to be talking about how I'm no longer chronically online and how I could help you. And the thing is, I can only help you for so long, you know? I want you to be able to, question things as well as criticize things, because when you're online, you're basically in the Matrix, so yeah. Except you're allowed to question it and acknowledge that kind of thing. You know, at least, well, you still can. So, you know, there's that. So, if you have a long enough attention span, you can watch this video till the end and come to your own conclusion. You know, come to your own thoughts, you know, that kind of thing. Thoughts and, opinions, and then, make your own conclusions of wherever those thoughts or opinions lead you to. That kind of thing. But one of the best ways to not be chronically online is, well, not being online all the time. I don't care if you use the internet monthly, weekly, or even daily. You know, because most chronically online people tend to be daily users. I would say, well, even if you're not, you gotta not have so much screen time, okay, when you do use it. Because there are a lot of people that do have a lot of screen time, that are on the internet a lot, you know, to an extreme degree. And it's very disturbing, to say the least, you know, because they basically use the internet as sort of their, panic thing, their shelter. They use it so much that they kind of don't let it be offline, because yeah, offline is boring, offline sucks, offline is like, it might seem painful, it might seem weird, cringe, and disgusting, but like, it's real life, bro. You're gonna have that a lot more in real life than you are offline, because, well, that's just kind of inevitable with real life. Internet, you can actually make perfection, but because of it, it leads to people not being able to handle their own imperfections, especially if you're, disabled like me and you have issues, that kind of thing. It doesn't matter if you're retarded, a sociopath, a psychopath, a fucking, autistic, that kind of thing, Dandy Walker syndrome, fucking, say dyslexia, whatever you may have, whatever mental or physical, or I guess in some cases spiritual disorder you have. I'm telling you right now, you can also become, offline too, alright? You have options. You always had options. Everybody, not just people who have disabilities, but people who are completely normal. Well, nobody's really completely normal when you're chronically online, but anyway, you as a person always had the option to be offline, you never really needed to be online, and that's true. You can just say, oh, but I'm busy, there's this video, that video, this video, that video, or they posted on this platform got this thing, or I'm busy on my favorite social media site. No, the fuck you're not, okay? Even if it's important, even if it's hoo-ha holler, you don't have to, do this shit. You choose to do this shit. It's always optional, by the way. If you ask me, if you want to know who's truly above you, know who you're not allowed to criticize or who you're allowed to question. You know? Go to the real ones. And I'm not just talking about, say, the Jews or, people with Down syndrome. Those people can be easily criticized and, mocked and questioned. No, I mean like people that are like genuinely like, if you start to question them, you can get into like serious trouble or something. That's who that is. Okay? That's who has serious power in society. And I would say, it doesn't matter what your religion is or what your, politics are, whatever you may be, languages you may speak, ethnic groups you're a part of, races you may be a part of, that kind of thing. Nationality or whatever can separate it. There's also similarities too. And I say this, if you want to be awake and not asleep anymore, which is your option, by the way, you have to realize that you're asleep in the first place. You have to acknowledge that. And then once you acknowledge that, then you can do it. But the weird thing about the internet now is we're in a transition period, sort of. So people are just kind of forgetting stuff right after it's happening, or even as it starts to happen, or during, So, be careful, is all I'm saying. That kind of thing. When you're online, if you are online. That kind of thing. And I know I keep saying this like a broken record, but look, if you want to get offline, you have to, get offline. That kind of thing. And if you want to get out of the matrix and not be sleeping anymore and be actually awake, then you have to do it, because I can only convince you for so long. I can only tell you to do this, to do these things, when or whatever. I believe in individualism. I believe in free will. So, you have to figure it out from there, and then once you form your thoughts, ideas, or opinions, make your conclusion from that. And then, why that conclusion? You can keep questioning it and keep going. That kind of thing. But regardless of whatever you do, again, I can only tell you what to do for so long. It's completely up to you, okay? You may not be a main character, even a side character. You could just be a random NPC nobody thinks about. Even if that's the case. Even if you're just a random nobody. You can at least do something in this existence. Okay? Even if that means fucking, you have to do these things or whatever. Or whatever you do. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're watching this, but I'm surprised you have this long enough attention span, but you gotta understand something. That's your choice, okay? Completely optional for you to do, by the way. Alright? That's all that I'm saying. Anyway, I am out of here, so, if you don't like it, do like it. Whatever you want to interpret this video as. Not my problem. Because here's the thing. You don't actually want to live my life. You just want to live your idea of what my life is. Because people, when it comes to things like this, they don't want to hear the actual truth. They just want to hear, thing I agree with or thing I disagree with. Therefore, I must go to absolute extreme. That's what a lot of people think. And you're probably thinking that way too. And you don't even realize it. It's called cognitive bias, I believe. Well, that's a term for it, but still. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. So any thoughts, ideas, or questions, or answers you may have, you can go ahead and think them. Alright? Those are your things. Anyway, I'm out of here. Bye!